Well, good afternoon, November the 12th, 2022, from Vernon, British Columbia. Yes, we've had some snow and cooler weather, of course, but it hasn't been too bad yet. No, not too bad. So, today I happened to run across a deal, and I listened to this. These guys on Wow or Tomorrow's World thing. They usually have a thing that goes on all freaking day if you want. Anyway, they got talking about evolution and how it's been promoted in the schools and universities and stuff now for a long time, and how basically a lie it is. And yet, nobody will admit it. Even when some of them reject it, who have been teaching it, reject it and say it's not right. I don't know. I've known for a long time, and I mean quite a long time now, that nature is absolutely amazing beyond our understanding. You know, nature, just nature in the world. All the trees, plants, flowers, there's animals, whatever. And the go on the internet and you say, what is the structure of a cell? You get all these different uh, pictures, sort of, but I don't think they're true at all. The ones I have seen were where they're amazing cells is where they have a cell that rotates like a motor, 2,000 RPM, and stop on a quarter turn and go the other way. I mean, how in the world do you manufacture something like that? And, just totally mind-boggling. And that's not evolution. The the human cell is fantastic. Plant cells are little different. How many atoms does it take to make a cell? How many atoms would be in a cell? Lots. Who designed these cells? It would have had to be really uh, total wisdom of some kind that could do this. And the other thing is, I often wonder is how is it, all right, is God that powerful that he can create anything by just willing it and it all comes together? That kind of power? Obviously, there must be something like that. And the thing is, if God, has all wisdom, all knowledge, all whatever, I guess that it's very possible that God can do this. The The whole world is basically, it's a it's a tough world to live in the way it is because you know it's all it's gotten down to the point now where it's basically everything that it transpires is either a lie or a propaganda of some kind or something. There's no truth hardly in anything. And the gay community, they have had a program of propaganda that was very very successful in convincing people, because people won't fight against a lie. That eventually they'll just go along with it and say the heck with it. There's no resistance to that. You can see it in politics, just out and out, flat out lies. Flat out lies. And yet people just shrug their shoulders and say, well, that's politics. Well, this world, the way it's run, and how Satan has had control of this world for so long, when it actually changes and the end of the world, the end of this age comes, it will be actually a relief for the whole world. Even people dying and whatever. People dying are not the big problem. God has the power to resurrect to the nth degree. And the good part about it is that the world to come is not going to be this kind of a world. And it's just unbelievable that people would allow them to think that there is no world coming and there's no better world than this. This is their best life now, and that's it. Either that or they're just going to die and disappear, and it'll be the end of them. They'll never know anything again, which is not true. Jesus spent a lot of time warning people about hell, more than anyone. And, that makes you wonder. I mean, good grief. If he's really concerned about people and hell and everything else, you know, I know many people think, oh, God is a God of love, and he would never do that to people, I think they're very wrong. God can raise up people from the rocks of the ground if he wants to. But he would rather have sons. That's another thing that doesn't go over very well. He wants sons. First, like Jesus is supposed to be the first of many sons. You don't hear daughters there. And I can understand that. Women carried the womb on the planet Earth for the simple reason of reproduction of the species. Men carried the sperm, spark of life. And they did, whether they knew it or not, they did. They carried it. They did it without even knowing they were doing it. That's how magnificent the plan of creation was, and how magnificent the plan of procreation was. That the woman would carry She would get X number of eggs at a certain time in her life when she's a young woman, and they would have to last for the rest of her life. And she'd drop one egg every 28 days, like a pad, nutrient pad. And if the male injected a sperm into that pad at that time, then it would sink in and fertilize it, and a life would start. Now, how it starts, I don't know, but it does. And it carries with it all the information that's necessary to develop another human being. And, you know, I guess women don't like the idea that that is her only real role. But God has made it so that, I mean, He honors mothers. And they have their life is honored for that. And the male is the progenitor. I don't think not really the life giver, but he carries the sperm that is the life. Whatever it is, the life is in the sperm. Now, we go through all this to create a new heaven and a new earth in which there won't be any wrongdoing, sin, murder, cheating, lying. And that is supposed to be like eternally, forever, into a world and where, you know, God would not allow two sexes to be in eternity when they fight between themselves now. It's always a battle of sexes. And women, if women are resurrected, they'll be resurrected as a young male, just the same as everyone else. But there would be a jealousy that would have to be erased. A jealousy of men, of a male, which is they do have now. And that's built in. Satan has that jealousy. The women have that jealousy. Vanity and jealousy is the big problem. Satan, vanity. And women, vanity. And I have to admit, women are much better looking, more attractive, more beautiful than men by far. But the reason for that is very simple. That's to entice men to impregnate them. And so they will be drawn to do that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be necessary. And to have an urge built into men that's just a built-in urge. They don't develop it or anything. It's just natural. Absolutely natural. But getting back to the lies and the deception and stuff, you know, Jesus, the last thing Jesus said before he went to heaven was, he said, do not be deceived. And I can see that's very true, how easy it is to be deceived. The more things get media type things, and the more pressure there gets to be believe this, believe that, the harder and harder it's going to get to believe the truth. And, you know, I have come to the conclusion I don't believe anyone except Jesus Christ and God the Father. I have no confidence in anyone else. None whatsoever. And hopefully it'll stay that way. So, I wish that I wish things were a little easier to understand, all right? Because they're very complicated. Very complicated. I wished I'd have lived a better life. I'm just absolutely thankful that God will forgive. He said he will forgive. And if you don't let yourself get hardened, hard-hearted, where you don't ask for forgiveness, then God allows you to condemn yourself, which is a sad thing. He doesn't condemn you. He allows you to condemn yourself. He calls it turning you over to a reprobate mind. And, I don't ever want to get that way. I don't want to get hard-hearted, uh, which I can see is easy to do. And which I'm sure is happening more and more and more all the time. I just thank God that he will forgive if you ask him for forgiveness. Think about it. That's the difference between life and death of many, many, many millions of people. And thanks to Jesus Christ paying the price to satisfy God's immortal law, a law that cannot be changed. And it can't be changed. Well, we'll have to try and see if we make it through the winter. I guess so. If we do, it's another one. Anyway, until then, goodbye, good night, and God bless.